What's good, you guys? You know who it is, man. It's your boy, Mr. Relentless Lex, and I'm back. Like I never left this mother. Yes, sir. Hello, somebody. All right, so we have Tory Lanez fight for freedom comes to a sad ending. Free that boy Tory, man. That boy be going through a lot of stuff, man. Unjust stabbings in jail, crazy. They still trying to hold it to that boy, man. Free that boy Tory. Let's get it.
Earlier this year, Tory Lanez's legal team claimed they found the evidence needed to get him out of prison, demanding that the California courts revoke Tory's conviction as they could prove his innocence. They held a press conference and promised Tory would be free soon, revealing they had already filed an appeal and were preparing to file a motion that would allow them to introduce new evidence. This press conference went viral, as his legal team seemed so confident in their evidence. When people saw this, they were hoping the truth would finally be revealed. But then, months later, there was only bad news for Tory. Sadly, back in August, Tory's legal motion to introduce new evidence was rejected by the courts. This was a massive blow to Tory's defense, but there was still hope as Tory's initial appeal was still pending. But sadly, just a few days back, Tory got more terrible news, as his appeal was sadly rejected, ending his fight for freedom. Now, he must finish the remainder of his 10-year sentence for a crime he swears he never committed. But after looking into why this appeal was rejected, it quickly became apparent that the judge seems to have made up his mind before even listening to the reasons for his appeal, making it seem more obvious than ever that there's a conspiracy behind Tory's take.
Facts. Facts, bro. Bro, how Tory Lanez, he get more time than Diddy? That's crazy, right? I know that's two separate charges, but damn. Diddy was facing life and got, what, 40 months or something like that? Tory was allegedly accused of shooting a gun at Megan Thee Stallion's foot. And the fragments, the bullet didn't hit her. They say the fragments, the ricochets off of something, or whatever, but he got 10 years, bro. Rock Nation have to be behind this, bro.
Down. Hey guys, I hope all is well. Welcome back to The Truth Is, where I drop new videos exposing the truth weekly. In today's episode, we will be talking about Tory Lanez's appeal being rejected, why exactly did they choose to reject it, and we will also get into Tory's last possible opportunity for freedom. Let's get right into it. For the last few years, the world has watched as Tory Lanez fought for his life. Since day one, he declared his innocence and promised the world he didn't shoot Meg, promising that he would beat this case because he truly didn't do it. However, when it came to the trial, things didn't go as he had hoped for. It seemed like it was all over when in December 2022, he was found guilty and sentenced to 10 years in a California prison. His supporters were devastated as they felt Tory was truly innocent, something that even after he was found guilty, he continued to insist was true. The whole time Tory was serving his sentence, he was vocal about proving his innocence and getting out of prison. But it wasn't until a few months after his conviction that his legal team started fighting back. Tory Lanez's legal team filed an appeal of his conviction around March 29, 2023, a few months after he was found guilty in December. His legal team argued that he deserved a new trial due to the first trial being riddled with errors. His lawyers argued that the trial judge should have not allowed certain evidence in front of the jury, such as questions posed to Megan Thee Stallion during her testimony. They also argued against the discussion of Lanez's tattoos and an audio recording of Kelsey, who was a key witness in a prior interview. His defense team also argued that the prosecution presented misleading DNA evidence. They argued that Tory's DNA was not found on the gun and that the inconclusive findings on the weapon itself should have been presented differently to create reasonable doubt.
Facts. I agree. But during the whole thing, bro, whenever it first took place, right? It was an audio call with the lady, right? Her name is Kelsey. I think her name is Kelsey. And it was an audio call, and she recorded Tory Lanez. And Tory Lanez was saying that he was sorry. He didn't say what he was sorry for. He just kept saying, man, I messed up. I messed up. I'm sorry. I was drunk. Personally, I think he probably don't even remember what happened. He just know he didn't shot no gun, But I think there was a word of intoxicated nights. He can't remember anything. And he only going off of the stories that the people are telling him that have been around him.
His team also alleged that the prosecutors engaged in misconduct and that the jury was improperly instructed on the charges, also claiming that his right to testify in his own defense was unfairly discouraged by the prospect that his song lyrics and other potentially damaging evidence might be used against him during cross-examination. From all angles, it looked like Tory had strong valid reasons to be granted an appeal. He showed proof that the prosecution was operating in bad faith, meeting with one of Tory's key witnesses and making him flip on him. The whole DNA evidence was also debunked, with the actual DNA reports claiming it was inconclusive when in reality, it was not found on the weapon. By all means, it seemed Tory had a good shot for an appeal. This only got stronger when in May 2025, Lane's legal team and advocates held a press conference to present a new statement from Kelsey Harris's bodyguard, claiming he heard her admit to shooting Megan Thee Stallion herself. And in July 2025, the statement from the bodyguard was officially submitted to the court as part of the habeas corpus petition. Now all Tory had to do was wait until the courts made up their minds. Many of Tory's supporters and people who just believed in a fair trial hoped that at minimum, this would lead to a new trial, but it wouldn't take long for the bad news to start rolling in. Just 1 month later, on August 12, 2025, the California Courts of Appeals denied the 2 petitions for a new evidentiary hearing or a new trial, ruling the claim did not qualify for the habeas relief. The court found the new evidence was not credible or did not support a claim of actual innocence, and the arguments could not have been raised during the initial trial or appeal. The court specifically stated that Lane's claims about new DNA testing on the gun were inconclusive and wouldn't change the outcome, and that evidence from witnesses like his driver Jaquan Smith was inadmissible because he wasn't called to testify at trial. Just like that, Tory's attempt to add what I and many believe was evidence that was credible and valuable to the trial was completely rejected. While this was a disappointment, it wasn't the end for Tory's fight for freedom, as even though this was rejected, he still had his initial appeal pending. But sadly, just a few days back, Tory got the news that his first appeal was unfortunately rejected. On November 12, 2025, Tory Lanez's appeal was rejected because a California appellate court found no prejudicial error in the original trial and determined that there was sufficient evidence to support the jury's guilty verdict. The court ruled that any minor mistakes made during the trial would have not changed the outcome. The judge rejected all of Tory's legal team's points for an appeal. For example, Lane's lawyers argued that the original judge should have not allowed certain evidence, such as specific witness testimonies, and Instagram posts, or references to his tattoos to be presented to the jury, as it would lead to a tainted jury pool. The appeals court dismissed these claims, with judges finding that even if there were minor errors in admitting the evidence, they were harmless and did not impact the verdict. Now, this is insane when you think about it. The judges are pretty much saying that the truth doesn't matter, saying that even if the prosecution had followed the judicial rules and not presented misleading evidence, Tory would have still been found guilty. How does that make sense though? The judge is literally saying the prosecution would have won even if they didn't cheat. But shouldn't the fact that the prosecution cheated be enough reason for Tory to get a new fair trial? According to the judge, it doesn't matter that they cheated because he believes Tory would have been found guilty no matter what. Tory's lawyers also brought up that the jury was not given the correct instructions regarding the charges before considering their verdict. But the appeals court also rejected this argument. When Tory's lawyers argued that there was not enough evidence to prove Lanez was the shooter, the appeals court once again disagreed, noting that Megan Thee Stallion's testimony was more than sufficient to support the jury's finding that Lanez personally inflicted great bodily injury. Think about that. The judge literally said it doesn't matter that there's no DNA proof to prove Tory shot Meg, as according to the judge, Tory did it because Megan said so. He doesn't need any concrete DNA proof. Megan's word is good enough. When Tory...
That's what I'm saying, bro. I could have sworn in the United States of America that the law was you're innocent until proven that you're guilty. Not word of mouth that you're guilty, but the proof, evidence that you're guilty. That's what my man said on this video right here is exactly true, bro. He's saying Tory locked up all because Megan said that he shot him. That's crazy.
Tory's defense brought up the sentence he got for the crime, calling it excessive. The judge also denied this, stating that Tory deserved the 10 years. In my opinion, I don't think Tory ever had a fair chance at winning this appeal. I believe those judges were already convinced to keep him locked up, not because they know he's guilty, but because of those who are behind Tory's takedown. This is why they rejected all this evidence without giving it a fair chance. Tory deserved a second trial, where things were done right. We are talking about 10 years of a person's life here. There should be no room for errors, whether small or big. The fact that the appeals court realized there was an error and claimed they're too small to alter the trial shows a bias in my opinion. We all know by this point that Roc Nation likely has a hand in all of this. Considering there have been signs that Roc Nation has judges in their back pockets, I can't say I'm shocked about any of this. Ever since they got Tory Lanez locked up, Roc Nation and Meg have been working hard to change the narrative. They know they did a bad job by hiding their role in all of this. You can find their fingerprints all over the situation. That's why since it happened, Megan and Roc Nation have been trying to rewrite the narrative. Megan knows people see through her lies and no longer support her because of it. So Megan went after everyone who was exposing her, all to try to silence her critics. She has targeted small bloggers accusing them of working for Tory, claiming they were paid to throw dirt on her name and make Tory appear innocent. She ended up suing the small blogger Milagro in an attempt to silence her. She also went after media personality academics who didn't believe Tory shot her either. Now she is trying to force him to say Tory is guilty using the courts, forcing academics to attend a deposition where they attempted to corner him, trying to intimidate him to give up his source that provided him with the information about the trial. Recently, Megan even went online and claimed that everyone who was talking negatively about her is a paid bot, telling her last remaining fans that all the hate is fake, when in reality, it's all too real. It seems that Megan hasn't realized that by digging Tory's grave, she dug her own grave too. While yes, she managed to get Tory arrested and possibly ended his music career, she did the same thing to herself, as most of her fans turned on her because they saw how much of a liar she is. Her music career is failing, and she lost the love of the fans. By now, most people know she has been lying since this all started. She lied about being in a relationship with Tory. She lied about how the night went down, and she also lied about fighting her best friend Kelsey. The only time she wasn't lying was when she said this.
We're gonna go to jail. What's that? Do you think we're gonna go to jail? I don't know. We're trying to figure it all out. As long as you guys cooperate with us and you guys tell us what happened, we'll go accordingly, okay? But if you guys are not telling us, if you guys are, then I don't think... I really cannot go to jail. Okay. I cannot have that on my image. Okay. So how did that happen to you? Glass. Glass? Where? Where we were coming from. I'm not from here, so Okay.
Bro, she said glass, bro.
I didn't get shot.
Oh, you did it?
No, ma'am. I mean, no, sir.
Which place you got shot?
I didn't get shot.
Oh, you did it?
No, ma'am. I mean, no, sir.
I believe Tory has presented enough evidence to grant them a retrial. Not only did Tory prove there was a lot of inconsistencies with this trial, but he also proved that Roc Nation clearly had their puppet strings attached to this trial the whole time. To this day, I believe the most important thing Tory revealed was his lawyer's connection to Roc Nation. Like I mentioned before, Tory exposed his former lawyer Sean Hawley for double-crossing him. He alleged that Sean Hawley was sent in by Roc Nation to try to force him to take a plea deal. When Tory refused, Sean Hawley dropped him as a client during the middle of the trial, then went on to produce a TV show named after Jay-Z's album Reasonable Doubt. She then named every episode of the show after one of Jay-Z's songs, featuring Jay-Z's music all over the show, indicating that she would have had to get clearance directly from Roc Nation. Clearly, this show was given to her by Roc Nation, possibly for what she did to Tory.
Wow, bro. Dang, so she was sent by Roc Nation. She dropped Tory and then went on to do this show and named the show behind Jay-Z's first album name. And the name of the episodes is every song on Jay-Z's album.
Lanez, if this isn't enough proof that Tory was targeted to you, then you're just choosing to be blind. Now, while Tory's appeal was rejected, luckily for Tory, he still has one more chance. He can now file his appeal with the Supreme Court, and they will have the final say-so. But sadly, this could take years, leaving Tory locked up behind bars while he waits, wasting away his life when there's a possibility he's innocent. Well, I'm gonna end this one here. I want to thank...
Wow, bro. Free that boy Tory Lanez, man. You clearly see the video now, the body cam, the police body cam. Megan Thee Stallion simply sit here and told the police to their face She can't go to jail, and she said she has an image, and she said she stepped on glass and she wasn't shot. Bro, this is not enough evidence, at least to get a man an appeal. That's crazy. Well, I tell you, these industry puppets get on my daggone nerves, bro. They'll do anything. They don't care about innocent people. They don't give a about an innocent person, bro. They care about the image. The image they got to uphold. They puppets, and they're gonna do whatever the doggone upper people tell them to do. And to the upper people, they're going to get tired of them after a while. They're gonna be washed up, and they're gonna do the same thing they did to others. Make them seem crazy, or get them locked up, or do something, or clone them like they did Gucci Man. One of the two. It's a cycle. It's a cycle.